Hi there, my name's Andy Hawthorne and I work for the Message Trust here in Manchester, England. In 1987, however, I used to have a little fashion business here in Manchester. That's if you can call leather ties with piano keys unfashionable. They were once friends and we used to make them. We also used to make braces. I think Americans call them suspenders. Now, suspenders are something very different here in the UK. We won't even go there. In 1987, Lady Diana, the lady we thought was going to be our future queen, decided to wear a pair of our braces. The next morning, it was like every girl in Britain had to have a pair, and we had orders on within a few weeks for hundreds of thousands of pairs of these braces, and not so many people to make them. So we went to the local job centre. Our factory was in inner city Manchester, really for no other good reason than that's where we got the best grants. But we went to the job centre and we said, the harvest is plentiful and the workers are few. Give us some lads to make these braces. And so within a short space of time, we took on 30 odd young lads. We had probably had a bit of a poor recruitment procedure, but we took these guys on, and to be honest, they were a nightmare. Not only was there vandalism and violence and graffiti all over our factory, but they were hopeless at making braces. The thing that grieves us most of all about these young guys was not just that they were hopeless at that, making braces, but they knew nothing of the gospel. It was almost like they were pagans. There they were, just 5 miles away from our big churches in the suburbs that we used to worship at every Sunday. This group of kids who knew nothing of Jesus, and it grieved us. It was our aha moment, a moment when we thought, this has got to change. This cannot be right. There's enough Christians in Manchester to make sure that there isn't a community growing up without the gospel. And a few days later, we were sat together, myself and my brother Simon, at the Harrogate Fashion Fair. We started chatting about these lads and said, this isn't right. You know what we're going to do? We're going to write to every church in Manchester. We're going to challenge them to do something for inner city kids. Hey, and you know what we're also going to do? We're going to book the biggest rock theatre in Manchester that was just a stone's throw away from the factory. It was called the Apollo Theatre. Not for a night, but for a week. We're going to put incredible gigs on for these young people to present the gospel to them. And we're going to encourage the church to demonstrate the gospel in these tough communities. I remember driving home from Harrogate. Took me about an hour. Felt like the wheels of the car were about 3 inches on the ground. And I was like, me and Simon are going to save Manchester. I got home and sat in bed. And suddenly it struck me. You joker. Who do you think you are? You've not got the resources, you've not got the gifts, you've not got the connections, you can't pull this off. And I said to the Lord that night, if this is you, if you want me and my brother to pull off this massive youth mission that actually would be the biggest youth mission Manchester's ever seen, and you're calling us to do that, I said, would you please speak to me through your word? At that point in my life, I was reading through the Bible from cover to cover. I honestly didn't keep reading until I got to a good bit. This was the chapter I was up to. Isaiah 43, and the verses that really spoke to me were verses 18 to 21. They go like this. Forget the former things. Don't dwell in the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland. The wild animals will honour me, the jackals and the owls, because I provide water in the desert and streams in the wasteland, to give drink to my people, my chosen, the people I form for myself, that they may proclaim my praise. I phoned my brother up straight away from my bed and I said, Si, God is going to do this. These wild animals are actually formed to declare his praise. God's ready to do a new thing in Manchester. It involves rivers in these desert places and streams in the wasteland. So sure enough, we wrote to every church. We booked the Apollo Theatre in faith, and God did a good thing. There were around 300 local missions in these tough places, and around 20,000 kids turned up at the big theatre at the end for the gigs we called Message 88. And a vision for the city was birthed. It was amazing. Shortly after, I left the business and set up this charity that's grown into a multi-level strategy to see every young person in this region seeing the gospel demonstrated and hearing it in language they can understand. Thousands of lives have been touched, and we're full of faith that there's so much more to come. As I look back over those over 20 years now, I really believe what happened back then to us, to me and my brother, is the way God's fueled the Great Commission ever since the dawn of the church. Firstly, he gives his people a heart. The eyes of the Lord are constantly ranging the earth, looking for a heart, not for talent or resource or sexiness, just for a heart for the lost and the poor. And we had that back then in Harrogate Fashion Fair, and it got the attention of our God. But he's also looking to reveal to people who have that heart his new thing. You see, God hasn't run out of ideas to see the Great Commission fulfilled. The problem is his people aren't listening. God is constantly saying, see, I'm doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? God has great, amazing new ideas every day to see the Great Commission fulfilled, to see Jesus known in every corner of this planet. And he's waiting for his people who will listen attentively. So if you haven't got a heart, a real burning heart for the lost and the poor, get one. And once you get one, what you'll find is God starts to pour into your soul his new thing. And God's new thing almost always results in wild, lost people declaring his praise. It almost always results in desert places springing to life. And isn't that really the most exciting thing in the world? Go for it.